Hello, how you doing? Hope everyone is doing really great today. Blessing of the Crown here. Welcome in. Please share, hit subscribe, hype, all the new stuff. As I started shuffling the cards, I come up, it was the moon and the Seven of Pentacles that came out, and it was about a period of deep, like maybe being anxious, having some reflection regarding long-term investments, and it could be about having doubts in the results, like, because the moon adds a little bit of confusion and uncertainty. There may be some fear suggesting that you may like like a watch pot that never boils, and then doubts your own efforts, and the Almighty God wanted me to tell you that push forward, don't give up, family, because you're at your breakthrough. You're at your breakthrough. Keep pushing forward. And there may be some hidden, highlighting like hidden risks or insecurities in your long-term plans, with the Seven of Pentacles. But, we have to have patience and trust the process. Even if your intuition it could be causing, a little anxiety about the outcome. And that's natural to be concerned and worried. And you may rely like on your gut feelings, and that's like your intuitive investments in yourself to decide whether to continue investing time and energy into a project. And that could be anything. I mean, I'm talking about, it could be a job. It could be something that's not bearing fruit. And it's stealing your joy and robbing you. What does the moon represent by herself? And with the moon that came out, even though I reshuffled.
The moon represents your inner self, subconscious mind, and emotional landscape, acting as a mirror to your heart, feelings, and intuition. It also symbolizes intuition, the need for reflection, and the cyclical nature of life, guiding personal growth and adaptability. Interested in learning more about the moon's historical significance? Tap the mic and ask Moon Symbolism History.
So that fits right in, because even though I shuffled again, I had these other cards actually fell out, so I haven't even looked at those yet. But the moon, as I stopped it, the moon was right back out on the top. So we'll say that is at the center of all things. Okay, is that with the moon representing the core of your reading today, your inner self, subconscious mind, and emotional landscape, acting as a mirror to your heart, feelings, and intuition. It symbolizes the shadow self and the need for reflection or solitude. It guides personal growth, adaptability, cyclical nature of life, its phases and its change. So get ready, because we're moving from one phase to another phase. And the King of Pentacles fell out on top. The King of Pentacle meaning. It represents material success, abundance, financial mastery, and security. So right after the moon, which is illuminated, in the left-hand corner, because it's upright, reverse it would suggest greed, materialism, poor financial decisions, but it's not. It's in the upright. It fell out in the upright. And all the things right now, I feel like that has been in the reverse with all the pentacles, because I feel like there's been too much greed, materialism, and things like that, causing instability amongst God's people. So, as the King of Pentacles comes out in the upright position, the Six of Cups in reverse. But as he comes out and everything's illuminated, and we can see 360 with the moon. And the King of Pentacles that came out, signifying being in the upright position, doing things the right way, having the intent of the heart where it's supposed to be, clean. But the Six of Cups reversed signifies a resistance to letting go of the past. So your ancestors are here saying it's time to let go of the past. You know, you could be clinging to old memories of childhood issues, or I don't know, outdated patterns. You know, moving forward and releasing and engaging in the present moment, whether it's dwelling on the good old days or even idolizing, you know, what is going to happen tomorrow. As we stand in the now. So we don't want to be stuck in the past, because sometimes it can be unpleasant past events, you know, and they hinder our present day progress, right? So we want to be able to step out of that. And it could represent a refusal to grow up or need to become more independent and responsible. Depends on which side of that you're on. Take it how it fits. This also can represent, in reverse, the Six of Cups. I mean, it could represent, with always being stuck all the time on a past lover, never being able to like be content in the moment or be here now. Because if we're always thinking about the past and we're always like, reminiscing or, fantasizing about a future and not ever being happy where we're at and thankful, as we stand in grace, but we need to be able to let go of those things who don't longer serve us. So we can become, like more independent and responsible. That way, we have a foundation to stand on. But with the King of Pentacles, it looks like that you're going to have that foundation to stand on because everything's been illuminated for you. You've done the inner work. But it's kind of scary because we've been in contemplation. We're looking at our cups. It's like nostalgia. It's like we're holding on, but we know we need to let go. But it's scary. But your ancestors and the Almighty God and your team is saying that you are in your King of Pentacles. Whether that be a masculine or a feminine. You're ready. You're centered. But you got to walk away from that house. And those people, you see those people back there by that house? Like right back here, right here. Do you see them? They're right there. And you see them? Because you've outgrown that. You've outgrown that. Although there are two women and a man. And it does look like there's a lot of love there. And I'm going by the color of that, of the house, because it's green. And to me, green is the heart chakra because it is the color of healing and love to me. It's an emerald city with the two arches. And there are the color that these familiars or family could be wearing. And the colors do represent enlightenment. On the two feminines are wearing purple. But as you're in the King of Pentacles, you're golden. You're stepping into the golden age. You're ready. You see? This is what you don't see that's coming. You're afraid to leave what's back here because there's love. It's comfortable. You're comfortable. But God says it's going to be made uncomfortable because He wants you to move. He's ready for you to move into your prosperity, into the golden age. Look at that. He's sitting in a gold chair with a golden gown, holding a golden coin, with golden coins like heaped at his feet, raining down the sides of his chair. Seashell scarfs of gold on each side of his head as he's wearing a crown. with a goat by his side. So all the fear of the Six of Cups in reverse, which means do not fear. Do not fear what others fear. That's what I just heard. I just heard, do not fear what others fear. And this was like this. I'm going to bring this up after I'm seeing, because after that on the side it flew over like this on this side. And it's the Fool. The Fool is in reverse. What's the Fool in reverse mean? Oh, no, I'm sorry. It didn't go in right, so. The Fool reversed. Ooh, okay. This is over here. It fell over to the side. The Fool reversed. It represents recklessness, negligence, and foolish actions. Okay. Well, in the upright, the card signifies new beginnings and leaping with faith. Okay. But probably because of the fear and the holding back here. Okay, even though you have the Moon, you have the King of Pentacles, and then that came out underneath of it. Like the King of Pentacles was on top of the Six of Cups. So even though it's like you're there, you're ready to take that leap, but then right behind, like in the back of your mind, you're worried, you know, and you're afraid to take that leap because you don't know. So the Fool in reverse comes out right beside it, but it flew out over here, outside of it, as in a second thought. Because in the upright, in the reverse, the card warns of acting without foresight, fear of change, or poor decision making. But in the upright, it means, you know, ignoring the risk, becoming stagnant often indicates a need to stop and reconsider actions before facing negative consequences. The reverse, it could be taking excessive risk, acting like a reckless daredevil, or failing to consider the consequences of a leap of faith. I see because of this being the Six of Cups being in reverse, I think there is a lot of thought that has went into the thought of being reckless, and the risk that's. But God says, you know, have I failed you yet? You know, if you step out on a leap of faith, you know, to consider, you know, the consequences of that leap of faith. And as we sit in contemplation, which we don't want to be stagnant. We don't want to be in stagnation or fear, you know, because it could hold us back, you know, from a new beginning, being overly cautious, or feeling fear and insecurity regarding a new project or life change. And we know a new life change is here. We've been talking about it lately. You know, like a lack of lack of responsibility, maybe being gullible, or having our head in the clouds too much, which can lead to mistakes or being taken advantage of. Sometimes, you know, as we're growing in the spirit, that's part of the process and growing in the spirit. I found that for me to be that way. That I started out really naive and gullible, and boy, but through the, I do know now, I have been taught well. A reverse Fool might quit a job without savings, which would be reckless, or fear leaving a boring job because it's stagnant, or fall for a scam and be gullible. So those are just examples, okay? But sometimes, our fear will keep us in that boring job, and it'll steal our joy, and it will take away from our true path and the passions. We can't be reckless, and we can't be irresponsible. We still need to be responsible. But God says, you step out in faith. You just take that leap of faith. You have faith, the seed, what is it? The size of a mustard seed. And if you just step out, that's all the faith you need. Because you know why? Because it's all about believing. And that's confirmation. Then, even the Seven of Cups came out. It was in reverse too. So we have the Six of Cups, the Seven of Cups, and then the Fool. But you have the King of Pentacles right there. So the Seven of Cups. Hold on here. The Seven of Cups in reverse. And that indicates the Seven of Cups in reverse was the card that was down. So that's kind of like 6, and then 7 was under that, but it was turned over, and they were both on top of it. So it was the King of Pentacles, the 6 was on top. The 6 was underneath the King of Pentacles, and then underneath with it turned over on the bottom was the Seven of Cups. And it indicates a shift from illusion, confusion, and overwhelming options towards clarity, focus, and grounded reality. So it signifies a time to stop daydreaming and start taking practical action. It's a wake-up call to move away from fantasy and make firm, informed decisions, often showing that the best path is already apparent. Take action over fantasy. It means stop procrastinating, sitting there, not doing anything. It's time. It's time to get moving. So get your butt moving, because you're emerging from a period of confusion and seeing the truth of a situation. All right, so it's time, moving from dreaming to doing by creating actionable, realistic plans rather than indulging in fantasy. So put your ideas, put all your dreams into action. Yeah, your ancestors are saying, it's time. It's time. I just heard the name Peter, Paul, Rayanne. I heard Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Is there anything else, Holy Father? Is there anything else that you would love? Anything else that you would want to say? When I open this, it says new beginnings. The fairy godmother heralds the joyous news of a new baby or a new project, or the birth of a cherished idea. Protect and nurture your ideas as you would a baby. So I believe that's what the Almighty God, that's what your ancestors want you to know. So it's time to get out of stagnation, move forward, because new beginnings are here. With that said, the God of love loves you, and so do I. Thank you for listening. Have a blessed day.